in to your weekly card class from Maine. I am Julie Max in the Maine Stamper, and I am perpetually late. I'm perpetually late. It is 8:06. My card class is supposed to start on Mondays at 8 o'clock on the East Coast. I am so sorry because I am late once again. I don't know why. I have the best of intentions at all times, but I'm late. So today we are working on the Autumn Expressions bundle by Stampin' Up. Now this is a very popular bundle. In fact, the stamp set is currently unavailable, and it's unavailable until, hi Sandra, I'm so glad. I know, Sandra, I'm here and I'm late. I spent the first like 70 seconds of my video explaining that I'm always late, and I'm very sorry. I'm sorry that I'm late, but I'm late. But I'm here, so it's all good. And we're going to use the Autumn Expressions bundle by Stampin' Up. The stamp set is on back order, so by the end of September, September 23rd, week of, it will be back in stock. This is, I was hoping to be able to use this not only for my card, well, I am using it for my card class today, and I'm also using it for my card maker club for the month of September. Sandra, you're so sweet. Thank you. No apologies necessary, she says. Hi, Jess. Hi, Kathy. You guys are doing great out there, too. I love it. I love that you guys are here. We have a card class. We haven't done a card class in a couple of weeks, I think. Hi, Jody. So I'm really excited to get back into it, into the card making. Spent a lot of time in the kitchen lately. The garden was very bountiful. We're very blessed to have so many vegetables to preserve, but man, it kept me out of the craft room. So I'm playing some catch up. So if you're looking for something from me in the mail, I apologize. Those are also late gifts that are coming, but they are coming. I have a list. So Autumn Expressions, hi Flo, thanks for finding me. Autumn Expressions is very popular right now because obviously September and autumn, we're all thinking about autumn cards, unless of course you're like thinking about Christmas cards. Hi Donna Walls, because Christmas is also super important. But we're going to start with autumn. I like to tiptoe into Christmas a little bit. I know there's lots of great samples on Christmas cards out there, and I am going to be diving into them soon enough. I'm like assuring you. Hi Patty, good to see you hanging out with me. So today's class is for 4 cards for the Autumn Expressions bundle, and then I'm going to turn around and do 4 more cards for the Card Maker Club in September. So if you like these cards, if you like the looks of what I'm doing, the September Card Maker Club is going to be better and bigger and more involved and a lot different. So tonight's cards are actually a little bit untraditional for the autumn colors because I like to play with color. You know I do. So we've got some really interesting colors. My ink palette here tonight, I'm just going to share this with you really quickly. We have Misty Moonlight, Highland Heather, Cajun Craze, Blackberry Bliss, Pretty Peacock, Gray Granite. Those are definitely not your typical fall colors, right? I mean, there's not really orange and yellow in here. There's not the garden green in here that you might think of like, we need to have fall colors. So, but this is going to be a fun play, and I can't wait to share this class with you. Hi, Lori. I'm glad so many friends have jumped on and found me, even though I'm like late, but here we are. So we're going to pop over to my workspace. We have 4 cards to share. I'm going to talk a little bit about the Card Maker Club one more time, and then just remind you that today is the last day to sign up for the paper share. If you're interested in the paper share, product share from the mini catalog, I need to get your orders. I need to get paper for you if you're interested in that. So we're going to talk about some things, but let me flip over to my workspace right about now. I think we should be seeing that. Please continue to say hi as you jump on. I'd love to know who's hanging out with me in the craft room. All right, here we go. Autumn Expressions Cling stamp sets unavailable until the week of the 23rd of September. So it is coming back. I feel like the best thing about this, besides the dies, we're talking about the stamp set, Julie. I feel like the best thing about this, I love the big sentiments right here. These big sentiments are really nice. This little wood, what would you like to call this? A wood round? It's not really a log because it's not long, right? It's a slab. Let's call it a slab of wood with the rings, the tree rings. We have this in several stamp sets. And maybe there's different leaves and branches in different stamp sets. So, but there is some really great value to this. So don't dismiss the stamp set. But if nothing else, I recommend the dies. And we're going to talk extensively about the Autumn Expressions dies. We're going to be using this one. This is the biggest die in here. It's kind of an interesting shape. It does some interesting things. It makes kind of like a little photo holder frame or a locket. There's things that we can do with this. It's got a little chain here in case you wanted to, you know, like make a little metallic chain. You've probably seen some demonstrations with this. This little one right here is kind of like, it would go on the inside as well, right? So it's kind of like a little frame that would hold up these pieces. So they all are designed to go together. I'm not playing with all of them tonight. We are going to play with the frame. We're going to try this out a few different ways. What I love is this little frond, the bonus dies right here, and this little leaf. Loving them. And then these are the 3 that are going to cut out images from your stamp set. So the oak leaf, the wheat, and the, what did we call this? I called this a minute ago. I called this something, the slab. We called it the wooden slab, right? So you've got some really great dies here. The dies are certainly available now. If you're looking for the bundle, you'll have to wait till the end of the month. This is what I'm featuring in Card Maker Club for September. So for Card Maker Club for September, this is not one of the cards. This is a card I had last week as part of my free recipes. Because I was playing with this beautiful paper that is in the Card Maker Club. So this was a design where you can show the front and back of the DSP. I used a little bit inside here as well. I used the same design and I created a sympathy card. So I felt like the colors really worked well together. What I'm loving on here are these great little leaves. All right, so this was just a bonus card. If you are on my newsletter list, you got that for free last week. You'll get another one this week, so don't worry. You can still sign up and get a free card recipe from me every Thursday. Card Maker Club. Besides this bundle, we're working with these beautiful papers, and everyone is loving, some of these are upside down, sideways. I've been mixing them all up. There's some great colors here. These are great artistic scenes. We're going to use a couple of them in tonight's class, but we're going to use them exclusively in the Card Maker Club. Card Maker Club, you're also getting the this ribbon. This is a wild wheat woven ribbon. I believe it's woven. Rustic striped. Let's go with rustic stripes. It's really cool. And then you're also getting these beautiful gems. These are the faux glass dots on back order currently, but I do have a stock on hand to send out with my Card Maker Club. So you can see the colors that are in here are going to kind of reflect the colors of the cards that we're going to be making in Card Maker Club once I get them designed, which is on my list of things to do. So I wanted to share that with you. These little leaves are fantastic. They are not adhesive backed. I kind of talked about these during my box reveal. But if you are in Card Maker Club, you might know that I send you some surprises. So expect some of these as a surprise because I want to surprise you. So pretend you didn't hear that, but you're going to probably see some of those soon. All right, so that's Card Maker Club. You have until the 20th of September to sign up for that if you're interested. And if not, I've got a really cool class for you tonight. Now, my class tonight is totally different. Totally different. So we have the Autumn Expressions card class. $40 order is going to get you the 4 card kits. Let's look at the 4 card kits briefly. Remember how I said different colors? Like these probably don't look like super autumnal colors, right? We got some blues and grays, a lighter blue in here too. This one has hello berry burst, Highland heather, a little bit of black. You're getting some of this beautiful paper in this one, and the gingham checked ribbon. So this one probably doesn't look super fall-ish, right? And this one we might start getting a little bit more into the fall spirit here. We've got some copper clay and some blackberry bliss. I love these colors together. We have another little piece of that great paper. So I'm kind of showing you a little bit behind the scenes of what we're going to be digging into here tonight. And the last one here we've got, or actually I should say the first one, because we're going to start with this one. This is Pecan Pie, Lost Lagoon. There is somewhere in here. Hello, Pretty Peacock. Where are you? In here somewhere. We have a little splash of Pretty Peacock peeking out here with some other papers. So you can see here that I'm not strictly using the papers from the Autumn Expressions suite. You're going to get a couple of them, and then the rest of them you're going to get a mix and match, because I want to show you that you don't have to just use the suite to create your cards. You can use other designer papers, other colors. We're going to have a lot of fun with these card kits tonight. $40 order is going to get you the 4 card kits in the mail using my host code S4RZFQN7. It's good through end of day Friday. If you bump up your order over 50, and this is before shipping and tax, I'm throwing in these are a different embellishment. These are the Earth Tones Shimmer Gems. So kind of interesting how these are going to work on our 4 cards tonight. We're actually using one of each color. I'm going to say that this first color is more of a kind of a whitish vanilla. We've got garden green. We've got kind of a crumb cake. I'm going to call this crumb cake, and this one looks to me kind of like our copper clay. So that kind of gives you an idea of the colors in there, which are completely different from, I'm going to show you one more time, the difference between the 2 colors, right? So this is tonight's card class offer. This is Card Maker Club offer. So they're totally different embellishments. I'm going to go in totally different directions with the same bundle. So I'm really excited about that. Hi, Linda. Good to see you on here. Thanks for chopping on. Okay, so we've got all of that business written out here. We're going to jump into our card kits, and we're going to, oh, don't lose my little leaf here. I don't want to lose my little leaf. We're going to start with this one right here. This one might be like, you might be thinking, what on earth with all of the colors, Julie? Okay, this is great. I love this class. So we're going to go with digging into our envelope here. So of course you get the envelope with my card kits. You get a scored card base. This is pecan pie. Oh, and I should probably show you the card kit. Now this is a fun one because look at these colors in here. Like these colors make me happy. This is very vanilla in case it's not coming off as very vanilla on the camera. And these are papers from the Iconic Expressions DSP. It's a 6x6 pack. Also on back order. So I have a stash here. So I've got some little snippets here for you, kind of in the fallish colors, right? We got pecan pie, copper clay look. But look at this. If you flip them over, you have pumpkins and you have little acorns. So you could, in theory, if you wanted to, use these instead. You can use a combination of these. I like this combination, and then you could use this combination. They're both great combinations. So I'm always excited to bring you something that has front and back that is really pretty. And while I'm talking for just another second, this is a Christmas label die that's coming to you die cut. You'll have to kind of get rid of these little swirly bits in the middle because I'm not going to fine pick them for you. This is from the Christmas labels dies, and if you are like hanging out with me at all, you're going to know that I just raffled a set of these off for free. So we're using this one right here. Right here. There's 4 dies in here. There's really nothing to do with Christmas, but they are called Christmas labels. We're using them today on our autumn card. So that's kind of fun, right? So this is a really cool set because it has, I'm going to show you here. I think maybe I can, I'm trying to think of what I can put through here. So you can put your ribbon through here. So I hope you can see that there's like a slit right here, and then there's one right here as well. So these are really interesting label dies. I'm not using them with my ribbons kind of squished in. And okay, thanks Melissa for answering that question. Hi Amy, hi Lois. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Yes, Splendid Autumn is the paper that we're using today. This card, however, is iconic, well, let's see, what is it called, Julie? Iconic something, Iconic Celebrations. So the paper for this card, I'm using a lot of different papers, but this one is iconic. So you can kind of see here, it's got Christmas, New Year's, Valentine's Day, all kinds of good things there. And then the other DSP that we're using is going to be the Autumn Expressions paper. Okay, let's jump into the card. Look at this. As I was digging around in my craft room for a second, I forgot that I left my card unattended. This is our first card. So it has a great mix of browns, some orangey rust color colors in there, rust color colors, and then some really cool blues. I mixed in the blues because I thought it would be a lot of fun. So this one, super easy to put together. We're starting with the most simple. Really the hard thing is going to be choosing your patterns, I think. But for the most part, we're going to just start gluing some things. So let me get in here so we can start gluing. So we've got Very Vanilla. Once again, this is Very Vanilla. You're going to just pick whichever side of this you think looks nicer. There's usually a rougher cut on one edge. Sometimes, but not always. This is going to just mat right here onto our Lost Lagoon. Vanilla in Lost Lagoon. Here we go. So you can kind of see here our progression. Now we're going to put on the Designer Series paper. And I really do like this plaid pattern. I love plaid patterns. So you can see here how they're going to fit on here. They're going to kind of mat beautifully onto this paper. I just want to let you know that this one right here is 3 inches wide by 3 1/4 long. So if you put it on this way, it's going to fill the space here on the vanilla, just so you're aware. So I am gonna glue the pumpkins down. I'm not making pumpkin cards yet. So this is gonna come on here just like this. We're gonna mat this to the top and the sides so that it's in there beautifully. And then we're gonna put this on the bottom. And I mean, we could go rogue. I don't know if I'm ready to go rogue yet though. Let me think about this for a hot second because maybe I will mix it up. I think I will. All right, you talked me into it. I don't know if you talked me into it or not, but this is where you would put up the polka dots, which are super cute and I love, but maybe we'll just try it. We'll see how it goes. I can't guarantee that I'm going to go rogue on too many cards tonight because I really like the rest of them just as they are. But let's try it and see. We're going to go a little nuts here. We got some acorns, which is a good nut to have, right? On your property, we have a huge acorn tree. Actually, we have quite a few acorn trees. It's fun to walk through our wood trails and check out all the baby acorn trees that are growing because, you know, the squirrels are out there moving those acorns all over the place and burying them, and then new trees grow. So it's really kind of cool. So there we go. I've already swapped up number 1 here. So we've got this on here just like that. That was easy, right? We're going to put some dimensionals on the back of this little label that's coming to you. And this label is in Pretty Peacock. I'm really drawn to peacock lately. I don't know why, but it is a nice, rich, regal color. And I think it works really well for autumn. Even though we don't think of blue so much for autumn, it's just really kind of that time of year, I think. Okay, so you can decide which way you want this to go. I mean, it really is the exact same in either direction, right? I'm looking to see. Yes, it slants the same way, either way. We're going to put this kind of off here to the side just a little bit and kind of bridge the gap here between the two papers. Notice I didn't put my little belt on here. Normally I'm putting a little belt between cardstock piece, really, between the two pieces, but I decided not to this time. I decided to kind of keep it a little bit casual. So I'm going to just put that together for a second because I got to find... I don't have my ink pads in order. Not only was I running late, I'm not quite as organized as I feel like I should be, so we're just going to hang out here and see what happens. This is Pretty Peacock ink, and somewhere I have Grateful for You stamp. So I am using the biggest stamps tonight because I really like them. And then I realized I should have probably used a smaller stamp, and I just didn't. This is going to stamp really nicely on this piece of Very Vanilla. Isn't that beautiful? I hope you guys are enjoying this beautiful die cut look right here because it's really pretty fancy. I think I need to clean up my Grateful for You. So I'm going to clean this up really quickly and check messages while I turn my camera over. Hi, Lori M. Good to see you. Okay, so we're cleaning up Grateful for You because I am using this on 2 cards tonight. I really like this one. Also, I feel like we need more gratitude. So I wanted to make more gratitude type cards. So there we go. All right, let's see. We're going to come over here. We're going to get back to the camera so I can see what I'm doing. And here's my die. This is a really fancy die. Probably most of you have this die at home. It's called scissors. And you're basically going to do some swirly cutting. So you're just going to kind of come around the swirly little sentiment here. And it's not too hard. You just have to decide where you want to go kind of up and down and around. And just kind of keep your edges rounded. So just keep rounding things. And you can go down a little bit and up if you want to. You can go straight across. That's the fun thing about this set of dies right here in your hand. These scissors are super, fabulous that you can just kind of twirl it around. Just make sure you round everything. Like, that's the secret. Make sure everything is nicely rounded. You can adjust as needed. And here's our beautiful die cut. From our beautiful scissors. Okay, so you have that, and it looks beautiful, right? Like, that was some good die cutting. This is coming to you in your kit, and you are going to be doing some die cutting, and I did some die cutting ahead. I actually did this ahead, which is kind of funny because I was running late, but I was like determined to die cut a few things. So we are going to die cut other things together, don't worry. This will still have some die cutting in it. But I'm just showing you what you're going to be die cutting. I think this paper is ginormously huge. I don't think I meant to send that much paper to you. So this will probably be a little bit shorter. It won't be quite that big because you just need to get 2 of these leaves on here. 2 of these kind of sprig leaves or fern leaves. And 2 of these broad leaves. So that's what you're die cutting with this, with these dies. Now, if you're using other dies at home, maybe you have some different leaves, you can definitely substitute in whatever you have. And you're going to do 1 of each top and bottom here onto your little blue Christmas label. And what I'm going to do right now is basically I am dry fitting. So I'm just putting them on here so I can see where they go. And I'm going to layer my beautiful die cut scissors work here over top. So again, I can see where it's going to go. This is cute. I like the acorns. Really sweet. All right, so now I'm going to lift this off and try not to move them too much, right? That's the name of the game. Now we're going to carefully glue down some things. So I'm going to put that kind of right back where it was. We're going to glue these down. Now, if you're using adhesive at home, go for it. You can use your tape if you so desire. I'm just going to try very gently to get a little bit of glue out of here. I noticed that this bottle earlier, I was using this and I was like, this bottle is being very generous today with glue. So we may have some glops, but we're going to do our best. So this is going to come down right there, and we're going to repeat down here at the bottom. This is really cute. I don't know if you can see it or not. This has stitching in the leaves, which I think is sweet. But I want you to keep in mind that if you put on too much glue, the glue is going to kind of come up out of that stitching too. So this is where I have a second to decide, yes, I'm still happy with my placement. We're going to just put our other leaves on here. So this is a really simple card setup, right? Card pattern, card design, card recipe. Speaking of recipes, you get all the recipes with your order during the week. So I email them out and I mail your kits. So you have both. All right, and then this is going to come on top here, but we're going to put this on with some dimensionals, which I have right here. So a few dimensionals on here, and card number 1 is just about done. Which is beautiful. As we play with autumn expressions. And don't forget to, if you have questions, of course, I have some really super crafty friends out here that kind of knows the answers to some things. So if you have a question, leave it there in the comments. If no one answers it, I will get back to you. I don't usually look at the comments while I am doing my crafty work here because that would really distract me terribly. All right, so for this one, I have decided to use kind of the crumb cake looking gems, if you will. I don't know which way I want to go, probably this way. So I'm going to just put a couple of them up here at the top, a small and a large, starting my triangle, and then I'm going to come down with a large one down here and put my triangle kind of going in this direction right here. So there we go, just that easy. Grateful for you. Now realize that the gems kind of blend in, but depending on the lighting, you're going to be able to see them, and you can definitely see them when you have this card really in your hands. So here we go. I would love to know, do you like the acorn card or do you like the polka dot card? I'm partial to the polka dots, and I love this nice rich color again during the autumn season, but I wanted to share with you that you could change this up a little bit. I didn't go crazy with the pumpkins yet, but there is card number 1 just like that. So I'm going to clean up my mess here for a second, make sure we're all good, and then while you're voting for your favorite card, I'm going to check comments real quick and see what you guys are thinking. All right, and then we'll get ready for the next card. Card number 2 coming right up. Card number 2. Oh my gosh, this one might be your favorite. I'm going to say this next one's going to be your favorite because it might be my favorite. And that's just how I like to roll. Okay. And so, oh, hi, Vale. Good to see you. You guys are, oh my gosh, I have a mix of polka dots and acorns. And you guys are awesome and so kind. And also, good to see you guys on here. All right. So card number 2. Make sure I get everything out of here. There's bits in this one. Oh yeah, and more. Okay, coming out. Okay. I like to make sure you get plenty of options when you are making cards with me. I don't want you to just, run out of options. Now, you're going to notice we still haven't dug into this big die, but don't worry, it's going to make an appearance. For now, I'm showing you can use this stamp set with other dies that you have. All right, so we're going to do copper clay for our base, and we're mixing it up with Blackberry Bliss. I love these colors together, and I'm using a brand new embossing folder. This is in the Fall Mini. This is the Forever Plaid, so you can see that it's one of the ginormous embossing folders. This is a really popular folder. If you don't have this one yet, please get it now. It's going to become more popular as more people realize what it is, and you're going to make fall cards, you're going to make masculine cards, you're going to make Christmas cards. Everyone loves the plaid, right? And I hope that you can see here, it's a deep embossing folder, and it really works well either, embossed or debossed, right? So this is embossed, this is debossed. So the pattern goes downward, and it looks like these squares are raised up. This one has the grid lines are raised up. So, and don't think like, oh my gosh, I'll never get this straight, because it's really technically not a super straight line on purpose. So there's a little bit of a curve to these lines. If you ever go to Home Depot and look at their 2x4, their lumbers and stuff, and see the curve, and so many of them, they think people are going to build houses and porches and things with. It's very similar to that. It's got that little bit of a wicked curve in it, and that makes it nice, because then you don't have to feel like such a perfectionist. So I'm just pointing that out. So don't be the perfectionist. Just, you know, go ahead and feel free to emboss this. Blackberry Bliss, beautiful colors. We've got a little bit of the Autumn Expressions paper. We're definitely using this scene, and I already talked about nested dies. You're getting a little bit of the bow paper here as well, the bow punched paper. This is actually wood textured paper. It may not show up online, but there is already an embossed, very slight grain to this, and I punched it out with the bow punch. So I punched the leaf part out with this textured paper in white, and then I punched out 2 of the sprigs in the Blackberry Bliss. The bow punch is one of my favorites. I think I probably need to replace mine or have a backup handy, because I use it all the time. All right, so let's take a look at our card now that I've teased you a little bit. This one is so beautiful together, and it says right on it, beautiful. Like, right? Beautiful. Change can be beautiful. So there's not a lot of effort that you have to put into making a beautiful card. That's what I'm showing you right here. Minimal papers, maybe a little punch, or, you know, a couple of die cuts, and you're good to go. So let's put the bones of this one together. We're not even going to like sponge it or get crazy with it. There's no need. Sometimes you can keep it simple, especially if you're in a hurry and you have to just make a quick card for something. You don't have to go into all the hoops and loops and all that good stuff. Now, because this is such a thick embossing folder and there's so much to it, I'm actually going to flip my card upside down and just press here for a little bit and make sure all of that glue kind of spreads out right there and gets centered onto our card base. So that was easy, right? Now we're going to just take our designer series paper, which basically is also the easy button, because it's so beautiful. We didn't have to stamp that. We didn't have to whip out our blends or our markers or water painters or anything. We're just using the paper. This paper is beautiful. And to be honest, I'm surprised that this hasn't gone on back order yet. I'm not trying to jinx anybody, but I feel like this could have been on back order for a while. So this is going to go in here, and we're going to put this on with some dimensionals. You guessed it. Let's grab some out here real quick, and we'll see how many we feel like could be the ticket. Usually start with the 4 corners, and then I kind of assess, and I usually go to the middle and go like, wow, is that enough? Do I need more? But I feel like 5 is okay, especially because there's so many up and down raised areas on this, so 5 works out really well. This is a case where I didn't put 8 on a smallish layering cardstock and DSP mat. All right, so all of those come off. Here we go. Now you're going to notice that the picture here may be a little bit different from here, depending on which section of this designer series paper you get at home. I'm telling you right now, it's going to be gorgeous. Either one, beautiful pictures. I think these are your basic 2 options. I cut off the bottom, so I kept the top of that paper design looking gorgeous. Now, of course, if you buy your own pack of DSP, you can go crazy and use all kinds of different ones for sure. So we have left over here, oh, we're going to do a little stamping and die cutting on this one. So here's this little sprig of, we're calling it wheat. That's what we're calling this. We're bringing in Cajun Craze ink, Blackberry Bliss ink. Love these colors for fall. So we'll start with the Cajun, because we're going to do this little sprig right here. This is one thing that I did not stamp ahead. Looking at my stuff here. Nope, I didn't. You know what? I think that might be a little bit higher than I want it to be for my die cut. So I'm going to bring this back down and try side B. So side B maybe looks a little bit better. All right, so we're doing that. And that was easy peasy, right? For our sentiment piece, which comes from the nested dies. So it's just kind of a rounded rectangle. We are using Blackberry Bliss, and Change Can Be Beautiful is going to be our sentiment here. I love how the red rubber just feels when you put it in the ink pad. It's got so much substance to it. I know you can't see it here, and it's kind of daunting to be stamping on something when you're not really sure. You can't see all the way through, but the feel of the red rubber is fantastic. And I love the font, the script here. So pretty too. So here we go. We're done with our ink. That was quick and easy. And I'm just going to clean this up because this is such a deep ink color. Now this will stain your red rubber, just like, and it's obviously going to very much stain photopolymer stamps, Blackberry Bliss. Gives it kind of a reddish tinge, but it does not affect your future stamping. And I think we're going to clean this one up because we are using this one again. So we do need that one cleaned. All right, so we're going to die cut this little, what are we calling this? It's kind of like wheat, I guess. We'll die cut this. I'll try not to lose my parts and pieces. Spread out my things here on my work surface and bring in my die cutting machine. And we are good to go. It's going to be just a quick die cut. Didn't quite get everything done that I wanted to, but, and I'm looking at this one. This one's going to be my better option, I think. So we're going to do our best to line this up at an angle here. I'm looking at it at an angle. Hopefully you guys can see it. All right, coming in with my top plate, and it might have shifted a little bit, but I'm okay with that. We're going to get the gist of it in here. Now the die cutter will be back for future cards, but here we go. So I did stamp a little bit crooked here, but it's okay because I'm going to cover a good bit of this up. Not too worried about that. And my trick for, it's a couple of my tricks. I guess I'm going to share a couple of my tricks. I like to do tone on tone, although this is a darker tone on a similar tone. So we've got copper cardstock, Cajun ink. So it's a little bit darker, and I like the forgiveness of just not on a stark white. Let me see. I did a white one earlier. Let me pull that out and just kind of show you for example. So here's how bright it looks on white. And for this card, I didn't want the super bright white in here. I wanted to keep the white with my punch piece and the white with my sentiment piece, which I don't know where it went. So we're going to have to look for that. How can I lose things in like 2 seconds? Seriously. Anyway, let's talk about this for a second while I look on the floor. I don't know where it went. Did my die cutting machine pick it up? Oh my goodness, we might have a sentiment emergency. I don't know if I've had a sentiment emergency in a while, but this could be one of them. So this is the example here, and we're going to kind of cover this a little bit. So you can see here, it's just peeking out with our beautiful little sprigs, which are going to be up a little bit higher here on this end and kind of peeking this end. So it's just bringing back in those colors of Blackberry Bliss, a little bit of the copper, and goodness. I'm still looking for, oh, I found it. Okay, crisis averted. All right, so there we go. So we're going to do very similar to how we did our very first card. We're going to bring some glue into the situation. Actually, I might tape some of this. Let's bring some tape into the situation. I assess the needs of glue and tape and see what I can get away with. If I know that I'm going to cover something over with a sentiment, I am more apt to be a little bit tape friendly. I feel like that was a pretty good dry fit. This one might need to come out a little bit more. Yes, I'm liking how that goes. So with one piece of tape well placed, right, I've got all three of these guys kind of chunked down. Now the secret here too is that you have to take the backing off of this tape. Get rid of this wax. It's like wax and nothing else will stick to this. Now it's sticky here where the tape is, so I can actually use this to put down my little wheat here, and there we go. Oh, that's beautiful. So all of that's down here. It's pretty nice. We're going to bring this in, and I'm just gluing this on. However, I am going to bring in my dimensionals one more time. These are hexagon shaped. I'm going to line up an edge over here to an edge of my cardstock. So it kind of sneaks in here snugger. Is that a word? Snugglier. So that way, so I've got them both right there, as you can see. So the edge of my label, my sentiment label, is going to come over here. Actually, my tape isn't going to be over far enough. I might need to squish my tape over. My tape that's holding on the sprig. We're going to just shift that right there because I could see that that wasn't going to quite all fit. So I want the edge of my sentiment to be on these dimensionals, and I still want to cover up all of the tape that I had going on over here. So that's going to work much better for me. So by keeping these snug, lining up the sides here, the side right here needs the glue. I'm good to go. All right, so one more time, we're coming in here. I'm going to just kind of line that up, assess where I have all my little things right here. This little guy right here, he's sticking up a little bit longer. He's out more than I would want him to be. I'm going to fold him down and kind of pop him back in a little bit. There we go. I gave him a little trim without trimming him. All right, so there it is, just like that. That was a little bit tricky because I lost my sentiment. Like really, that was the only thing tricky about that one. Now, I have chosen to use more copper clay type embellishments for this card. So I grabbed a couple of these little guys and put them up here in the sky. And I've got my triangle coming down this way. So I'm going to put a big one down here. So my triangle comes just like this on the opposite angles as from our first card, kind of opposite little triangle right there. And change can be beautiful, and I hope that you think this card is beautiful, because this one is really probably my favorite from the class today. And we have, checking in to see how you guys are thinking. You're liking this color combination just like I am. Yes, very untraditional. And this whole class today is all about untraditional autumn colors, because I feel like sometimes we need to play with other colors than what is expected. And when you get a card that's different from your traditional autumn colors, it's a wow factor, because someone's like, whoa, I didn't expect that. And the unexpected always surprises and delights. So this is our Change Can Be Beautiful card. My favorite, I think, I don't know. I say that and we got 2 more cards. So hang with me here. We're going to do a couple more cards. Now this, okay, speaking of non-traditional, this is about as non-traditional as you're going to get. We have very non-traditional colors on this one. Let me grab out. We're starting with a Berry Burst card base. Make sure my card's going to open in the right direction. I'm giving you some really sweet little black and white, well actually this is black and vanilla gingham check. And we have black and Highland Heather in here. Now you have a piece of this beautiful DSP. So you can see here from the colors on it, I've kind of picked through the palette here a little bit. I really wanted that the black and the Highland Heather, and I thought we've got to brighten it up with something besides just more dark. So the berry and Highland, these are beautiful colors, right? This is your card kit. You're like looking at this going, wow, what are we possibly going to make with this one? This one's a little trickier, right? So this one actually has some heat embossing in it. I heat embossed this. Have a perfectly lovely day. Now this one, there's no white and there's no vanilla. So it's really these dark, rich colors. So they kind of work for fall, I think. And of course, if it's not someone's cup of tea, then you could mix in some other product too. The black is very dark, definitely. But we're finally going to dig into this fun die together. So we're going to dig into this today and check it out. Before we do that, let's just do the easy peasy parts. Let's do the stamping of this little wheat on our Berry Burst front. And we are going to use, believe it or not, Highland Heather ink. You might be thinking, what are you doing? I didn't reach for a darker color. I didn't reach for tone on tone. I reached for Highland Heather, and it's definitely a little bit different. I think I may need a scrap paper underneath. Let me see if I can find a quick scrap paper. I keep them on hand. So we're going to bring this in because we're going to be kind of stamping all up and down our card here. Kind of in, let's see, for everyone who likes numbers, I'm going to say we're going at about the 2.5 to 3.5 inch mark on your card, okay, coming from the left. So you're leaving like about roughly an inch from the side on the right, okay? If you have to measure these out and be super exact, but I just want you to start like right about here, just like that. Easy peasy. Now you can overlap these, it's okay, because it looks like these longer strands of the wheat are just kind of going up and in. So you can see here, it's just looking longer and longer as we go, right? And I don't want to like leave too much, just like I want leaves at the top. I don't want it to just be all stems at the top. So that's it right there, just like that. And it's forgiving because we're covering up a good chunk of it. So that was Highland Heather ink on Blackberry Bliss. So something new that I wanted to try out, and it worked out really nicely. Now as we grab parts from our card kit here, we're just going to do some really simple layering before we get into the labels. So let's just throw these things together here. So you've got Highland Heather going onto your basic black, and then these are all 1/4 inch mats. So each size goes down 1/4 inch, up 1/4 inch, depending on, you know, which way you're going, down or up. And we've got designer series paper here, really pretty, going right here. And this is great. Now, You could put this on a black card base or purple, right? And you'd have a really nice sympathy card. This one we're bringing the fun in here. So you're going to see that this is going to come over here and layer into our card. We're going to just put this on flat. So this is going on here. Make sure I have glue on all those sides right there, and we're going to kind of snug this over, leaving that really nice matting top, bottom, and left. Right? So it's really like 4 layers coming up here. Super beautiful, right? Okay, so now if you don't have Autumn Expressions dies, you're just going to use some of this. Maybe you're going to do circles. You could do a black circle and then a Highland Heather circle. You could put a circle on here. You could use other dies that nest and create something just like this. But we're going to talk about how fun it is to use these dies. And don't forget, I have the ribbon. We got to add the ribbon on later. Remind me. Okay, let's do some die cutting, and then we're going to do some heat embossing. Card number 3 is super fancy. All right, so we're going to bring in the die cutting machine, and we are going to die cut on this larger piece of black cardstock that's in your kit. I'm going to actually lift this up and show you. So this piece fits perfectly the entire assembly. So hopefully you can see this. Let me just flip over and see. Hi Jackie, it's good to see you on here. Definitely catch up later, not a problem at all. I will show off all the cards at the end too, so you'll be able to see them all. All right, so this is going to fit on here really nicely, and then we're going to put our top plate on, and we're going to crank it. Ooh, crank it through. Here we go, we got it. Man, it's Monday. Glad I get this done on a Monday with you guys, so like, you know, get all this out of the way. Enjoy the rest of the week in good cardstock stamping conditions. Okay, so what I've got here from this die is the frame right here. So side by side, this is connected. There's different ways that you can use this frame. And then also, which I think is probably my favorite part, is basically 2 layering pieces from the inside of the dies. And I want to point out right now that one is bigger and one is smaller, so they're not the same. So you can nest them and put them together. They're very close to the same size, but not quite. Okay, so in some of my instances here, I'm going to tell you to use a bigger or a smaller label, because we're going to bring in our Highland Heather right now, and we're going to die cut the smaller label. So you just have to look at these and decide which one looks smaller. So the smaller one is this one right here without the tabs at the top. So we're just going to die cut this piece right here. I don't need an entire new full one. I just need this little purple label. So we're going to die cut this, and it is okay to run those through without having paper on everything, just in case you were worried or nervous. That's what this plate is for. It catches all those. And here is our beautiful little purple die. So you can see right here that that's going to go right like so on our card. We have some black left over, right? And then if you have problems getting this off of your die by cutting it in this kind of manner, I found that the best thing to do is come at it from the end over here. So this end that's facing the next window over, basically, you'll be able to pick this up off of here, because there's no pokey holes on this to poke this through. The only one is right here. The rest of it is form fitting. So just if you're not doing a full one, you can poke at it from this side and get that out, because I did have some problems. Now you could save this and use this outline. You could basically trim off. There's little score lines here right where I'm trimming. You could trim this off, so you have the notches on all 4 sides, or you could trim it flush if you wanted to just have it flush. So there's lots of things that you can do with the outlines as well. So we're going to just move this mess out of the way so we can continue on, and I'm going to show you how we're going to make kind of our little locket for this card. I'm going to use it differently on our last card, but for this card, we're kind of running the full gamut here. So let's bring in this little label here again. So you're going to see there's a nice side with score lines, and then there's the rough side that was face down on my plates. So we're going to fold this in half. Again, there's score lines right here. It's really hard to see. But once we fold this in half, it kind of comes together. I'm going to flip it this way. And then you've got these little extra tabs from the back right here. So you can see these tabs on the back. They will fold over this way onto the front and kind of close this little frame up. So we're just making a little frame just like this. So we're going to glue this together though. So we'll glue this together, and that's the piece that's right here on the back. These are the little tabs right here on the side. So let's glue this guy together. And some people are using them open, some people are using them closed. There's all kinds of ways that you can use this. So there's just a matter of kind of gluing this together. I'm definitely over gluing today. Definitely over gluing. Try to get some of this up here. All right, so I probably, don't know why, but I probably should use my silicone mat to catch this extra glue that may glop off of here. Okay, so we're just going to close this frame up. I can see glue galore, but there we go. It's on the silicone mat, so that is at least slightly helpful. All right, so here is the closed version, right? We still have these tabs to glue down over this way. This is the back side. It's a little bit messier. The frame is, this is going to be for the bigger frame, would fit back into this one. So here's the bigger one. And then here's the smaller one. Smaller one will fit into this side. So it's interesting that they're not the exact same size. I thought that they were going to be. So that kind of like caught me as like a, oh, okay. Gotcha. We're going to just glue this down. This is going to glue down here. I'm going to have to hold that for just a second. And there we go. We have our frame just like that. I feel like I have extra glue, so we're going to come in here real quickly. Oh, maybe I'm good. Maybe I'm good. There we go. So our little frame, just like that. Now we are going to save the big one because we're actually going to use this in our card, and we're going to heat emboss on the purple. Now, if you did not want to heat emboss because you're going to have the purple paper, maybe you're getting this whole set and you want to make the cards just like these are, what you can do is you can actually stamp on the purple. It is light enough. I actually tried it out. This is Berry Burst ink right here, Berry Burst ink, and I did kind of sponge around it with the Highland Heather. So if you don't want to heat emboss, you could also use a black ink, but the heat embossing adds so much to it. So let's bring in our heat and stir it up here a little bit. Let me grab all my things here and not make a mess. So I've got my tools, I've got my Emboss Buddy. We're going to start with the Emboss Buddy. That is very important. Let's get rid of all the static and inks, staticky things on our paper before we get going here. All right, so Have a Perfectly Lovely Day is going to be done in Versamark ink. And the reason that I'm doing it in Versamark ink is it's the stickiest ink. Like there's a lot of stick to it. So the powder sticks really well. Actually, I'm going to go this way. I want to make sure you get a really good coating. You want to make sure that your Versamark pad has lots of refill ink, so it's really sticky and tacky. I'm going to open up my powder here and get that ready to go too. All right, one more time. We're going to ink this up. And you want to be able to move from the stamping with the ink to the powder pretty quickly. Now this is kind of snug on here, so you're gonna have to do your best. You could practice a little bit if you wanted to. And let me pick that up, and then we're gonna powder it right down and around. And these are the new Wow embossing powders that Stampin' Up brought out this fall. They're not in, I don't think they're in the catalog. I could be wrong. They're definitely in the online store. You get them in sets of 3. So you get your metallics, you get your black, white, and clear, and like wow is correct. This embossing powder, and the reason I'm using it, I don't have little containers yet for it. I'm putting it back into my jars here from my tray, but the embossing on it is so amazing compared to the old powders. So I really don't want to go back. I mean, I still have a whole tub of old powder that I don't even want to use. I mean, this is just, it's so beautiful and shiny and perfect. Oh, I just smudged mine. It was beautiful and shiny and perfect in making, but we're gonna go with it. We're just gonna go with it here. My cord is, I'm fighting with my cord. But again, we're gonna go with it. So if you don't smudge your powder, you're gonna have a really nice heat embossed image. Let's see, is that all done? I think it is. Yep, we're gonna say that's beautiful. So this had the potential, this had great potential to be a really beautiful image. It's a little bit scattered, but it still works out really nicely. Now, to save this just a little bit, this is one of those great things that I love about doing something with sponging, is we're going to save it just slightly. Just slightly. We're going to put in some ink here with our Highland Heather. And I'm going to move those out of the way. Let's see. I have a blending brush right here. So Highland Heather is going to come in and help us out a little bit. So we're going to kind of deepen down and come down in. Then the nice thing about heat embossing is that you can, you know, if you needed to, you can wipe the ink off. It's like the embossed resist, because the ink won't stick to where you've heat embossed. The heat emboss is like a raised glossy, you know, kind of hard finish. So the ink, if you needed to, you could wipe it off. You don't really need to with this one. So we just kind of darkened that down. I left the center a little bit lighter so that it would just look really pretty. It kind of draws your eye deeper into it. And now we're going to finish up our card here. So here we go. This one had a lot going on for sure. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to put in our little frame that we made. I'm just looking at it to see which way up, which side, and all that good stuff. Did I put my silicone mat back in my drawer? I sure did. Oof, I'm all over the place today. That's what happens when I come in late. I feel like I'm just not quite caught up. All right, so here we go. Some glue along here, and there's a lot of glue on here. So something that I might want to do is I may want to grab a piece of paper. I'm just going to rip that paper that I was just sponging on, just so I have a little bit less of it. And I'm going to actually just pop it on here for a second and kind of smush that glue. So I've picked up a whole bunch of glue over here, and I've kind of, it's just kind of a way of blotting, right? So blot a little bit of that off if you're like heavy with the glue, and that way it won't leak all over your project. So get rid of that, move that, and now we're going to put this on our project. So I want my little tabs to go this way. Here we go. So this is just going to come on here. It's going to kind of bridge the distance. I know it's covering up the beautiful paper. I know it's covering up our beautiful stamping. It's like, I know. I always feel that way too when I put the things on. I'm like, but it's moving these things around, and then, you know, but we want it. It looks pretty in the end, right? It looks pretty in the end. So it's not like it's the worst thing. Now, from your die cutting, again, you've got the larger one here on the right, the smaller one's on the left. This one's going to fit in here. Nope, actually, we're going to use this one. We're going to use the smaller one. Let me think. Which one did I use? Yes, we used the smaller one. This one fits in here. Smaller. I got to remember that when I write up my card recipe. Smaller one's going to go in here, and the reason it's going to go in here, look at how the glue is just dripping out of my bottle today. It fits in here really nicely, and it also covers up the background here. And the reason that I want that covered up is I'm going to put this on dimensionals, and I'm going to use those fancy black dimensionals because it's going on a black background, right? So if someone were to look at it sideways, it kind of will blend in a little bit more. So these are the black dimensionals. I do like to keep them on hand just for a few cards. I don't use them all the time. They're like special ones for sure. This is going to, the black here is going to help because this is going to be raised up just a little bit. So we're going to pop this up here, and that way, just in case you put that on crookedly or, you know, just, you won't see pink or designer series paper behind it. You're just seeing the perfectly lovely sentiment that you heat emboss without ruining. Okay, good. There we go. So all we have left is our bow, and you know what? I made one earlier because I could tell this was going to be a struggle bus day. So we're going to just go ahead and decide which side of this bow we like best. And I've got the tear and tape right here. Okay, thanks for hanging out with me. We still have one more card to do. This is going to come in here and kind of just fit right beautifully like that. You'll have your ribbon and your card kit that's coming with. And then for the embellishments, I chose the very vanilla, the lightest ones that we have here. I chose those. They kind of almost look white, right? So it adds a little bit of brightness to our card. So I'm just going to pop a few of these on here. Looks like I popped one. Sometimes I go back and forth between the putty end and the pick it up with your spatula end, and I just lost that one. I don't even know if there's a sticky on it. The sticky's on my spatula. If I can get that off of there, we would be winning. I like to win. There we go. I did it. There we go. And ta-da! Have a perfectly lovely day. Now, this one was a little bit of a train wreck in the middle, but hopefully you like this card. And also it's pretty, right? It's got some nice purpley pink colors in it. Definitely not your normal autumn card. And it doesn't have to be. Like, this could be a year-round card for sure. So I'm just like to show you that there's versatility for a set that says autumn. Maybe there's more to it than that. So Lori likes the purple. That's awesome. Let's see. Jess says she's an embossing buddy on the tray. Otherwise mine gets really sticky and the powder doesn't like. Yes. Yes. That's a very good tip, Jess. The embossing buddy. I have done that before. Actually, I think I did that. I think if you look at this, I don't know if it's going to show up in the camera. There's like embossing powder in here. And the Emboss Buddy. So Jess is saying wipe this down before you even powder it, because that way it doesn't stick when it goes back into the jar. If you don't have an Emboss Buddy, another thing that you can use for the inside of the tray would be a fabric softener sheet, because that's going to help to take off the static too. So those are really good tips. Thanks for sharing that, Jess. I'm glad you pointed that out for us. I love to read the comments on occasion so I can check out what you guys are thinking. All right, card number 3. That was card number 3. Done. Let's move on to our finale, our grand finale card. And we're going to go a little bit more blue, but also maybe a little bit more autumny too. So we've got some gray granite here. This is the Country Woods Designer Series paper. So if you're feeling the blues, kind of hinted earlier on today that we might be feeling the blues a little bit. You've got some Misty Moonlight in here. This piece right here is going to be embossed for you, and it's coming with a Tree Rings hybrid embossing folder. So don't forget that there's other things that have those wood cuts that you might have in your stash, because this was one of last year's bundles, and you can still get this, of course, but you might have other things in your stash that you can use with like things in your stash, right? So we're getting a little bit of paper here. You can see the multiple little colors going on here. Lots of littles going on here for this card. And I'm going to come in and bring this card in so you can see it. Let me just flip my camera back over again one more time so I can make sure that you can see what I'm doing. Grateful for you. Again, I love the sentiment. We're going a little bit rough here on our paper. We're going to kind of rip and tear a little bit. And if you don't want to do that, you don't have to. But I do like the rip and tear. And I hope you could see the texture here, because I really I tore up and kind of bended and folded all of my elements. I wanted this card to have a little bit of flow. I like it when things pop up. Now obviously when you mail it, it might get squished flat, but it has the ability to have just that little bit of lift in it when you curl up some of your elements. And I feel like this is the kind of card that worked really well for that. So let's get into putting this one together. Now when you get this at home, you're going to have different selections of it's the same Designer Series paper. There's different colors in these stripes. So this one that I'm holding in my hands has a little bit of that petal pink. This one does not. So depending on which section of the paper, I should say, that I cut for your card kit, you may have different colors in it. Again, this is the Country Woods Designer Series paper. It is really fabulous. This is one that during the DSP sale in August, this one was on back order a little bit, and it's a pretty popular one, and I can definitely see why. All right, we're going to bring in my messy mat here again, or what's left of it. I'm in a tearing mood. I'm tearing it up today. Look at this, because we're going to sponge our emboss piece here with some Misty Moonlight. So let me see if I can find my blending brush. Here we go. All right, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to darken down definitely the edges a little bit into the wood green here, just kind of add some flair and flavor, right? And then we're gonna just kind of come along the edges here, and I'm just gonna get this as inky as I can before I start tearing it up. Now I'm not gonna do the bottom, so obviously pay attention to which side you want up. I like this side up. I like the big one here at the top on the right. This part right here, I'm gonna tear this a little bit. I know that some of you are like, no, don't tear it. Now, if you didn't want to, I'm going to just show you how this would fit on your card. It will fit. It'll be beautiful. You don't have to tear it, but I do like every now and again to just rip something up a little bit. And what I like is that you kind of get a little bit of different color here where it's fuzzy at the bottom. I'm going to bring my ink back in here, and I'm going to make this really dark at the bottom. So this holds the ink a little bit nicer too. So we're going to just deepen up that bottom. And you can see here that it's just torn at didn't tear off a lot, maybe a quarter of an inch, half an inch. and just make it jagged because that makes it more fun, right? All right, so this is going on here. Nope, I put on dimensionals. I was gonna say flat and I looked at it and I said, no, I put on dimensionals. So it's a good thing I look. That is like something to check out for sure. Let me get rid of this again. I don't think we need this for right now, and find dimensionals. So we're gonna put this on with dimensionals. Some days I don't know. Can't remember what I did an hour ago. All right, dimensionals it is. So this one may need a few more than the others because it's a bigger surface and it's also very embossed. It's one of those detail folders that it needs a little bit of support by the time it's all said and done. So here we go. Grab off all those little backings and one more. There we go. And we're going to pop this on. So hopefully you can see, okay, yep, everything looks like it's in good order here. And we're going to put it on right about here. Okay, and then we're going to, oh, I forgot this part. I should have done this earlier. I crinkled up this corner. I crinkled it up. So you can see it on here, it's crinkled. Now, this is where we're going to bring in our scrap. And we're going to put our scrap like right here. And we're going to very carefully just put a little bit of blue. We're going to come down. I'm going to wash that corner a little bit. Okay, so we add a little bit. Actually, you know what? I tinged it right here a little bit, but I think that's okay. Because then we're going to add a little bit to this corner too. Do you see how creative you can get when you make like little mistakes that you didn't plan to make? Just like that. It's kind of cool because it's just a hint of blue. I like it. I like these mistakes. Okay, so you've got all this great paper over here. You're going to stamp that little wood ring, which I have a stamp for right here. We're going to stamp this. This is gray granite on gray granite. So we're going to stamp this guy out on this, and there's a die cut for this one, which I already die cut. So we are right here with our die cut piece. We are also going to take some gray granite ink with a dauber, and we're going to darken down the sides of this. I like to darken down the sides when there is tone on tone, and actually I probably should say I like to darken down the sides all the time. I like to darken down the sides. Let's just go with that. I like to add the little bit of ink that comes in so there's not like an uninked edge. I don't care too much for an uninked edge. So here it is just like this. When we put it on our card, we're gonna squish it up a little bit. So here is flat, here is squishied. Okay, that's also a word, squishied. All right, let me move that out of the way. And then, oh, the blue, the balmy blue oak leaf. Who doesn't like a balmy blue oak leaf? We have to find Misty Moonlight ink. I have to wipe off my hand with a baby wipe because I just grabbed the ink pad. I'm getting super inky today. It's a fun day, right? Okay. Misty Moonlight. So we use this Misty Moonlight on our Misty Moonlight piece right here, but we're going to use it again on Balmy Blue, and we're going to do a blue oak leaf just like this. So your blue oak leaf is going to go on there. And while you have the blue out, grab yourself a sponge dauber, and this will be die cut. So there's a die that would die cut this one, just like there's a die that will die cut this little wood slab, right? And we're going to come right around here. So you can see, if I stop for a second, you can see the uninked edge and then where I've sponged a little bit. I just really like to make it darker than not have it inked all the way across. That's just my preference. You guys at home do whatever you like. And then I kind of went sideways a little bit here, like on purpose, and kind of moved my flat, but not quite inked as much, right? And kind of went sideways and pulled in some of the ink from the edges, leaving again that really bright, untouched spot in the middle. It just makes it super bright there. So that guy's going to go on there. There's our Misty Moonlight sponged balmy blue ink paper leaf. And I don't think those are on any oak trees that I've ever seen. All right, in your kit, you still have a little bit of garden green. You still have a little bit of Cajun craze. You're going to go ahead and die cut with your dies these two cute little leaves, right like so. So here they go, magic of die cutting, we're good to go. And then lastly, we have to, so we'll put this aside. We just have to get our label so that we can just stamp our sentiment. Then we're on to final assembly, guys. I know this one's running a little bit long. I started a little bit late, my bad. And there's a lot going on in this class. Like these are not hard cards to put together, for sure, not hard cards. But you know, we're just working things out here. Now on this card, I used the bigger the bigger label. So when you're die cutting it, you want to die cut the side that has the tabs that stick out. So you're going to put this into your die cutting machine. We're going to just layer this on here so we can get this label. And we're going to look for our top plate. And here we go. We're just going to do the label. Just like that. Okay, let me put that right there. Move my parts off to the side. And here's our label right here. Here's our label popped right out. And then, of course, we have this piece in here, which I mentioned earlier. You could kind of dig out here from the side as needed just to get that lifted up and out of there. Then you've got your frame. But we're not using the frame, so set that aside. It is for future use. We're going to go ahead and stamp our sentiment in Misty Moonlight. I noticed my Misty is a little bit light. It needs a good re-inking, so we're going to do that another time. We're going to do this and it'll just be kind of a lighter Misty Moonlight, I feel like. So Misty Moonlight, Grateful for You. Love this one. And we're just going to pop this on here. If I hold this down for a couple more seconds than normal, it'll absorb a little bit more ink into the cardstock, which is nice. And it's kind of interesting how it starts out, it's darker in some areas and gets a little bit lighter. It's actually kind of like that variegated look, which isn't awful. It just happens to be that my ink pad could really use the benefit of a little bit of extra ink. So we're going to go ahead and dry fit these on here just like we've done on all of the cards, right? And then kind of decide how we want those to go on there, just like so. I kind of like this little bit of petal pink in here. It adds a little bit of cuteness, right? So I'm going to just pick this up real quick, pop this guy right back down. We're gonna zhuzh him up a little bit here in a second. We're going to bring in our little green leafy frond friend, and we're going to just add a little bit of glue to this guy, and he's going to come in here kind of off to the side. I'm going to press him down for a second because glue. Okay, and then we got our little blue oak leaf. It's a fan favorite, I know. This would be a great masculine birthday card, by the way, in case anyone's thinking like, oh, Julie's husband Frank has a birthday in October. I'm just kidding, you guys. Just no. But I always keep this in mind. Like, I have a husband who has a birthday in the fall, and these kinds of cards are fantastic. Like, right, all I gotta do is switch the sentiment to happy birthday, and I am like done. So moving on, we're gonna put some dimensionals here. And side note for fun, in case you're paying attention and haven't fallen asleep yet, my husband Frank's birthday is the same day as my dog Betsy. So Betsy was born on Frank's birthday, and I think it's pretty special. Now he always refers to his birthday as Betsy's birthday, because she's a special girl too. Gotta have all the birthday parties for everybody. So here we go. This is just going to come on here and kind of bridge the distance, covering up those spots. And now this is where we kind of come back in and we can lift up and kind of bend and manipulate these pieces that are on here. And we do it now because we don't need to do the entire thing. We just need to do what's showing, right? So you can kind of push your leaves up a little bit if you want to. Same thing with down here. You can kind of squish them together, especially if you're not like gluing or taping all the way to the sides. If you're just putting a little bit into the middles to hold them down, you have the option here to kind of rough this one up a little bit. Now, if that's not your thing, you just don't want them roughed up at all, you definitely don't have to. Just something that on occasion I like to try some different things, because then it feels fresh and new, right? This is the perfect card to bring in these green dots. So we're going to add these embellishments here, two, and then we're going to put one up here, maybe right about there. There we go. Oh, so pretty. They turned out beautifully. All right, now we're going to do a review. So this was card number 4. Again, you get to tell me which one you like the best. Card number 4. Here's card number. This one got a little bit ruined, so we'll just put this one on top, right? And then that was card 3. Card number 2, probably everyone's favorite, because why wouldn't it be? That's a beautiful card, right? And then the first card. So you can see here that we use a lot of autumn type things, but they're definitely not necessarily autumn type cards. So there's our card class. Aren't they gorgeous, all laid out like that? Wow. I absolutely love it. Okay, so let's pop back over here so you can see me and I can see you guys. All right, Linda likes folding the edges for depth. That's an awesome way to word that. That is awesome, awesome. Donna likes card number 3. Oh, thanks, Donna. That was the one I struggled with, the berries and the Highland Heather. Now, I know they look lovely together, and my original card turned out much better than the one that I kind of had that little faux pas while I was heat embossing. Look at you guys liking card number 3. Oh my gosh. You always amaze me and lift me up with whenever I feel like I didn't do a good job on a certain card. It seems to be your favorite. So I absolutely love that. Thanks, Jackie loves them all. You guys are doing great. And Lori, Lori, I like how you listed them in order. 2, 4, 3, 1. That is so awesome. Way to go. All right, so if you're interested in this card class, your order this week, thanks Amy, $40 order is going to get you the card, a set of 4. So you're going to get the embellishment for the $50 order. You'll definitely get the ribbon on the gingham ribbon on the one card, and you will get the embossed pieces. You'll get the extra die cut pieces. Kathy likes number 3 the best. That's awesome. So there's the offer for the week. It ends on Friday, and this same bundle I'm going to be using it in Card Maker Club. So I'm going to be continuing to play with it. So if you're in the Card Maker Club, you're going to see even more. I just want to throw a reminder out. Thanks, Curry. I'm glad you love them. That if you're on my team, if you sign up as a demonstrator underneath me, my team gets these recipes all the time for free. Now, they're not ordering from me. They order under themselves because they get their discount, 25% discount, but they also get my card recipes. I share them with my team. So even though, you know, because they're obviously not going to order from me, but I want them to have these recipes so they can make cards too. So shout out to my team for getting free recipes from me. And if you're interested in joining my team, there's always a good day to join because the sign up special is amazing. All right, everybody, thanks for hanging out. I know this one went a little bit long. I appreciate your time. I will look back through your comments if you have any, and look for your card recipe in your Thursday email newsletter. We're going to do something fun, so you'll have a freebie there as well. All right, everyone, take care. Until next time, stay inspired, create something beautiful, share the love. Bye.